Leaders of Tomorrow 18-hour special initiative that celebrates the undying entrepreneurial spirit of micro, small and medium enterprises. This is the only daily MSME platform in the country, a show where you can voice your concerns and get answers to all your queries directly from our team of experts. We understand the issues that you, the MSME entrepreneur, face, and the show aims to bring you the most relevant and the most updated information on everything related to your businesses. Tonight on the show, a quick recap of a conversation we did earlier with Make My Trip. On our Insights segment, a chat with AdLift, and on Bright Sparks tonight, we're featuring a conversation with White Collar Hippie and Pebble Street Hospitality. Tonight, we bring you a quick recap of a conversation that we did earlier with Make My Trip on how MSMEs can work with larger peers when it comes to the travel industry. Take a listen.
Internet was the medium. We were an online travel company, but at the end of the day, we were in travel. So the travel infra and the travel ecosystem also had to evolve. So that was definitely one. The other thing that actually also happened at that point in time was IRCTC. So IRCTC launched their portal and they were distributing on their own for the longest time actually, and then they were the only portal. What it did at that point in time, these two events, was that people started, one that low-cost carriers, so the consumer behavior changed to start booking flights more than ever before. But also more importantly, from an internet adoption standpoint, that people started using more and more internet, because IRCTC online rail booking, the alternative was extremely painful. Going to the railway station and actually booking was the alternative, and that was really, really painful. And it provided a lot of IRCTC online booking system provided a lot of convenience.
For our Inside conversation tonight, I spoke with AdLift, a global digital marketing firm, about how MSMEs and startups can use technology and digital, especially digital marketing, more, and ask them to share tips and tricks of what a good digital marketing strategy should look like. Here's what they had to say. Thank you very much for speaking with us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow, Prashanta. Maybe I can start by asking you to talk to us about how you went about setting up AdLift.
I was, in the digital marketing field, working on a number of different strategies in the US with the likes of AT&T, Yahoo and eBay. Being on the other side of the table, one of the things that I noticed was back in 2007, 2006, digital marketing wasn't very data centric, so there wasn't a ROI approach to it. That's where the idea of starting AdLift, which was purely performance marketing, came on to being. So the idea of AdLift has always been working with partners, working with clients in providing digital marketing expertise in a very ROI-centric manner.
How, in your opinion, can MSMEs and startups in the digital space use technology much more, and also possibly talk our viewers through some tips or tricks or handy tools that they must keep in mind when we are talking about digital marketing, and how crucial you feel it is really in today's world for MSMEs to be able to use digital marketing?
Yeah, so if you kind of look at the stats in the last couple of years, even this year, digital marketing in India is going to surpass $1 billion. It's growing at about 30% year over year. Overall ad spending is growing at about 11%. So there's definitely something that's happening which is heating up in the digital space. So one of the key elements that we always talk to our partners about is test and learn. So up until a couple of years ago, there was essentially one elephant in the room, which was Google capturing 80+% of market share. Today you've got Facebook in play. So together Google and Facebook capture about 50+% of overall ad spending. On mobile, Google and Facebook are at about 70%. So marketers have a lot more platforms and tools to play with when they are testing out their digital marketing channels. So one of the things that we definitely advise on is learn fast, fix fast, and test and learn. So some strategies that might work for player A in your field might not really work for you. So overall, the idea is to concentrate on data, look at what your users are doing, look at how they are consuming your products, and then based on that, double down on what's working and what's not on the different platforms. Also, one of the things that we recommend is keeping aside what we call like a test budget across multiple across multiple platforms. So you've got new emerging technologies like the Boola and Outbrain, which are on the content marketing side, which really help in driving ROI-centric traffic at low cost per clicks to your website. So again, test that out, see how that's working out, and if it is, double down on that.
How soon between the time that one invests into online and digital marketing and the time one starts seeing rewards, is there like a thumb rule that you would suggest? Because you were talking, for example, about Google AdWords. What advice would you have for our viewers about how they can go about learning about the analytic tools really that online marketing provide?
Sure. So overall, when we talk about digital, it's about 12 years old, right? So it's fairly new as compared to other forms of advertising. So the best way to learn is to self-learn. So there are a number of journals out there. There's Search Engine Journal, there's Search Engine Land, there's Marketing Land. So I would really recommend a lot of self-learning in this process. Make mistakes. Learn fast, fix fast is kind of the motto that we use, and decide with data. So we're in the digital world where you actually don't need a 3-month life cycle to understand what's working or what's not. If you looked at how products were formed, back in the 80s or the 70s, it was a 6-month planning process before a L'Oreal or a Pantene would actually take out a product, put it on the shelf, see how consumers react to it, and then either take it off the shelf or spend more marketing dollars on it. We don't need to do that. You can actually start a website, spend some money on it, see how folks are reacting, and then make changes pretty much on the fly. So the time span of actually figuring out whether a product is working or not is hugely shrinked. And again, I would kind of go back on making decisions just based on data. So use the right analytics tools. So whether it's Site Catalyst, whether it's Google Analytics, look at what the data is saying and then make decisions based on that.
Let's talk about your business for a moment, Prashant. Your Bootstrap. Talk to our viewers about some of the benefits and disadvantages of bootstrapping. Would you advise it for them? And if yes, why?
It's a very steep learning curve. So the number one goal when you're bootstrap is profitability. So if you're not profitable, you're not going to be able to pay the bills. You're not going to be able to pay your employees. You're kind of losing your own money. So you have a pretty steep learning curve, which is both an advantage because it helps you make informed decisions and helps your decision-making capability pretty much, it kind of fuels your decision-making capability into the right direction. Some of the advantages obviously are that, you again have you kind of have a free will on what you want to do, which side you want to go to. You don't need a board or VCs to actually sign off on that, which I personally really like. So enjoy that level of freedom of coming into work, trying something new out, launching a new vertical, seeing how that works out. If it does, fantastic. If it doesn't, take a new direction and learn from that. What I would call out to recommend to the viewers is that you want to kind of do a risk analysis. You want to do an ROI analysis also on whether you want to go the bootstrap way or you want to go to the VC route. So why do you actually need the VC money? Is it going to help increase the time that you go to market, or is it going to decrease it? Is it going to increase revenue 10x based on the equity that you give out to the VC? So there's a lot of math that's involved in whether you want to go bootstrap or go the VC route.
I notice you're investing in companies yourself as well. What kind of companies have these been, and what has been the learning there?
So we started off in San Francisco. We strategically placed in the Bay Area. So we've had the opportunity of working with a bunch of startups, right from Credit Sesame, Blue Jeans, Airbnb, really kind of Shopify, seeing Box on the cloud side, seeing their growth early on, even before they went pre-IPO. So lots of times there's an opportunity that comes by where we see ourselves as more, apart from being marketeers or marketing agency, we see ourselves more as partners across other verticals that we can help in. in those areas is when we strategically invest. And I think the key learnings here has for us always been that the team is core. So even if you have a bad idea, if you have a really good team in place, they can convert that into a really good idea or a good product. But if you have not the right team in place, even the best of ideas won't see the day of light. So one of the key learnings here is that the team is core to the business. If you have the right foundation, if you have the right fundamentals, you have the right team working for the right reasons, you are on the right track to win.
One last question. Talk to our viewers about some advice that you've received in your professional life that's possibly changed the way you really think about certain businesses or your approach to your business.
The way I think of the advice to entrepreneurs is don't start a company unless you're absolutely and completely obsessed with it. So that's kind of my key advice in learning. If you're living and breathing your idea every day, the minute you wake up, that's the only thing you think about, and that's the last thing that you think about when you sleep. You know that you are on the right track. So don't do something just because you have other folks around you doing it. Go into a business model that you understand reasonably well. You are an expert in certain areas within that. That's where you add value, and then partner with folks that would add value to the business. So lots of times you have two friends together starting a company. Both of them have the same set of expertise that they bring to the table. So they're basically mutually inclusive. You'd want to work with co-founders, or you want to work with partners that actually bring something else to the table, are subject matter experts on a different vertical within the same company. So the key advice is, be totally obsessed with what you're doing and then partner with the right people.
Time for a break. On the other side, on Bright Sparks, we'll feature White Collar Hippie and Pebble Street Hospitality. Back with us here on the Leaders of Tomorrow, and tonight we're featuring White Collar Hippie and Pebble Street Hospitality. Bringing in the new year with loud music and crowded places might be most Mumbaikers' quintessential idea of what New Year should be. But for those of you who would rather end the year under the stars and welcome the new year with a glorious sunset, White Collar Hippie has just the perfect solution for you. Shubhangi Sinha caught up with the founder to understand the market for niche travel and how the industry is evolving. Take a look.
Travel is the only thing that first leaves you speechless and then turns you into a storyteller, said Ibn Battuta. The transformational power of travel is the constant inspiration for serial entrepreneur and adventurer Vikrant Cheda. At his company White Collar Hippie, which was founded in 2012, increasing number of travelers looking for uncharted experiences or alternate travel have found a home.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight.
Your company believes in bringing offbeat outdoor experiences to travelers. What is the market that you're targeting?
So the market that we're looking at is, so we realize that there are people for whom holiday is luxury travel, and it's about like going to spa, taking that fancy 5-star holiday, and they want to go there and they want to be served and they don't want to do any like physical activity or anything. It's a break from everything. So that's one kind of a market. Then there are people who don't need us, they'll just take their backpack, get up and leave. What we realize is that there's a big market in the middle, which is actually people who want an adventure of a backpacker, who want to explore, different places, who want to see offbeat places, want to, meet interesting people on the way, locals, but are somewhere scared to go out and do it on their own.
Bandcamp is also a part of your company's initiatives. Talk to us about Bandcamp and tell our viewers more about it.
We realized that close to Bombay, there have traditionally been campsites. We used to go ourselves weekend we used to take our tent, sleeping bags, go climbing, Saturday evening, camp on top of some fort or some mountain for the night, and next day, come back. For us, that was a great Saturday night plan. We want that culture to spread. People are not, here we have access to such lovely hills close to Bombay, or pretty much across India. There are always access to some great places around every city. But people are not exploring it enough. So we were like, okay, we'll start a campsite where it's a baby step for people, where we get people comfortable with camping, comfortable living in a tent, going to, shared bathrooms, and that's how Bandcamp evolved.
Aiming at being an alternative travel company, the core team at White Collar Hippie has been able to set up campsites across various topographies, be it hilly areas or beachy locales.
Talk to us about your team at White Collar Hippie.
So the campsite, actually we've set up with pretty much one person or two people. It runs with just a couple of people because it's a lot of local people who we train and work with to run the campsite. So in terms of staff or in running the campsite, a lot of the help comes from the locality itself. But besides that, we also have a great bunch of volunteers who sign up to work at the campsite because it is fun at the end of the day.
What would you say are the biggest challenges that you've faced while setting up White Collar Hippie?
We face difficulty in just trying to understand the regulations. Like we don't even know, are there regulations, they're not regulations. Pretty much everyone in Maharashtra who has a campsite is just confused about it. What kind of regulation are we supposed to follow? Are we a hotel? Are we a camping ground? Are we under tourist? Are we under, entertainment industry because we have music there, but it's a campsite and we are calling musicians to jam around the fire. So that confusion we don't know how to solve.
We're almost stepping into a new year. What are the experiences that Bandcamp or White Collar Hippie has to offer to travelers looking for a different way to bring in the new year?
For New Year's, our surf camp, which is in Kodi Bengre, which is near Udupi, that's a great spot. The campsite is called Camp Namaloha, and it's a great space to get away from like a regular city party, or even for that matter the crowded New Year destination like Goa. We have a trip to Hippie for New Year's. That is also a great place during the New Year time because there are travelers from all around the world in that area. So everyone comes together to celebrate Christmas, New Year's there. So we have a trip over Christmas and New Year's.
Surfing in Namaloha, yoga in the mountains, paragliding in McLeodganj, or just listening to good music at the Uttan camp. This company has got a little something for the white-collared hippie inside each one of us.
Speaking of the year-end then and the festive season, it is synonymous with good food and great parties. Palami Mukhopadhyay visited Pebble Street Hospitality's multiple properties to choose her favorite from amongst the Trilogy, The Good Wife and Coco, and brought away tips for entrepreneurs in the hospitality space.
The Good Wife, Trilogy, Coco. One name that resonates with all these three happening places in the city of dreams is Pebble Street Hospitality. Incorporated in 2010 by Ryan and Keenan Tham, this company became the destination for creating enviable properties in Mumbai's hospitality circles. Known for its ambience and music, Trilogy offers one of the best nightclub experiences in town. On the other hand, the Good Wife's humble menu provides food for the heart, not just for the stomach. But their recent launch of Coco, the Asian gastropub, is undoubtedly my personal favorite.
Ryan, why did you start a hospitality business in India, considering it's one of the most competitive and crowded space in the country currently?
Well, we're now third generation of our family running restaurants and bars. It's been in our lineage, and my brother and me have always known that this is the line we're going to get into. We studied it abroad, we came back and joined our father. Also at that point in time, it was not so crowded, but then every industry today is saturated.
So what are the 3 things that a customer must look forward to when it comes to your hospitality over the other people in the same space?
I think we offer a very vibrant experience in all of our outlets. That's the main differentiating point. The second would be for us value. We try to match the value with the offering. We don't believe in charging exorbitant prices for what we offer. And third is, of course, the THAM hospitality service that you will get at any of our ventures.
As an entrepreneur, what are the key factors to keep in mind before you jump into the hospitality space? Do you think pricing, location matters the most?
Location is key. In today's market, rentals are a big deciding factor for this business. However, the most important aspect would be to get your right team in place. I think the human resources are your biggest asset, and without them, you cannot function in the hospitality business. It's not a one-man show at all.
Right in the heart of South Mumbai sits Coco. The 3,500 square feet area exhibits a warm tone sitting in the lounge, a colourful Rubik Cubes mural island bar, and a few intimate dining booths. But what stole my heart was the food. Filled with flavour, petite presentation, and indigenous Japanese ingredients, the misaki roll dish made my evening yum.
Kenan, as a part of Pebble Street Hospitality, what are the 3 prime properties you own in Mumbai currently?
Okay, starting with Trilogy, which is Mumbai's most current super club. It's spread across 6,000 square feet, 2 levels. And with the Good Wife, it's basically a bar in the corporate zone in BKC. And Coco was basically our most recent venture. It was one of our offerings in terms of South Mumbai for contemporary Cantonese food, Japanese food, and a great vibrant bar, as you can see.
Now that you have given us 3 names, there must be some funny story behind that too.
Yes, actually there is. Trilogy was the 3 THAMs doing the 3rd project, actually, so that's why we named it like that. Coco actually means older brother in Cantonese, and that's what I refer to my brother as sometimes. So, you know, we definitely like the name, the way it sounds, and it fitted well with the product. The Good Wife, some say it's a mythical creature. I totally disagree. We're both happily married. But we're basically a home away from home, a cradle of comfort in that corporate zone. So we thought the name has a lot of value, and it's definitely created a lot of traction for us.
So you started with Trilogy, The Good Wife, and now you've recently launched Coco. So why such varied offerings when it comes to your hospitality business? Don't you think creating branches will be an easier option in this case?
You could look at it like that, or you could look at it from a different point of view. You know, at the end of the day, we're not a cookie cutter model. You know, although we do expand within our brand portfolio, and we will. You know, based on location, what we feel demographically, geographically will work, we sort of create the product for that space. And we're in the brand of creating new brands. I'm not just taking existing brands.
So what is the expansion plan looking like for Pebble Street Hospitality? Any new venture that we are looking at for the next year?
Yes, in fact, we're quite excited to launch at the end of January. We're having you know, our first beach club open in Bombay. So that's going to be focused on the outdoor dining and you know, chilling experience. And of course, we're replicating Good Wife and Coco in the coming year. So you'll see more of them very shortly.
With plans of launching new ventures in the coming year, Pebble Street Hospitality is making sure that the city literally doesn't sleep when it comes to socializing or catching up with friends and family this festive season.
Today we brought you tips on how you, the MSME entrepreneur, should and can be using digital technology, particularly when it comes to your marketing spends. Do remember that if you want to be featured on the show, you can write in to us at leadersoftomorrow@timesgroup.com. You can reach us on social media using the hashtag LOT. You can tweet at me. In fact, my Twitter handle is Sunanda_J, or call us on that number you see on your screen. We promise to have all your queries answered. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.